I bet you weren't expecting a video this quick so soon. Well, I got this figure right here. The same day I picked up the Jurassic Park figures I recently made a video on. And this one's going to be a little different. In addition to an unboxing, I'm going to be voicing an opinion. And I just want to say all opinion is subjective. And I'm going to try to word this as best as I can when I get to it. And I don't want anyone to take anything I say out of context or in the wrong way. It's just, everything is subjective, so bear with me on this. But what I have here is Star Wars The Black Series Han Solo. Now, this is based on the recent Solo A Star Wars story. Not the original series, you can tell, both in the likeness, which, honestly, it looks, I know people say it looks like the new actor. Sorry, I'll get to that. But my point is, I see Han Solo. I don't see, well, I do see an actor, but I also see a character that I know, and a character that I've grown to love. And I've seen his likeness cast here, and to me, this is basically a Han Solo variant with him wearing something other than his traditional white shirt and black vest. He's got a brown shirt and a brown jacket and a black shirt. And some nice belt with a holster. So really, you could take this as any way as you want it. You could take it as seeing a new Solo. You could see it as being the old Solo, just in a different light. I see it as Han Solo. And also, in order to avoid, well, attempt to avoid some of the more annoying aspects, I've shut the fan off, which is something I noticed in my previous video. And I did loosen a few things on here before but apparently this crinkling casing is still going to be a bit of an issue. So, excuse me real quick. Okay, to most of you that probably didn't seem like it took any time at all, but you have no idea how long it took just to get this figure to stand properly. I don't know whether it's because the feet or the articulation points in the feet make it difficult to, because it makes the figure lean forward or back too much, or if it's a smooth surface, but yes. For those who don't know, the Black Series is a line by Hasbro that sits somewhere in between their basic 4-point articulation figures, similar to the Reaction or the Funko Ready Player One figures I've mentioned before, and a nice collector's figure, which usually has a lot of articulation points. Because yes, this Han Solo figure it's got wrists, it's got ankles, it's got knee joints, it's got elbow joints, a waist joint, and a head joint, I believe, and shoulder joints. It is a very detailed and nicely articulated figure for a reasonable price. I think this one was about $20 or so. And yeah, you can there's pretty much almost every character, and they come in these moderately sized, like sort of larger action figure sizes, but they also come in a size that could also work well with the standard issued 4-point articulated figures. But I don't know how many of you are going to be seeing this, but let me just say, I'm a casual fan of Star Wars. I was just a kid when the prequels came out. I didn't understand that there were other movies that were older than that. It was just a nice series that I liked. The only one I ever saw in theaters, though, was the second one. It wasn't years later until I saw the other two. I never really played the games. I had some really nice toys when I was younger. I distinctly remember an X-Wing fighter, but I didn't know what it was called. I just called it the plane. That had a base, which was like a grip or a joystick, and that made noises. I used to play with just the stick, and I didn't even have the X-Wing fighter anymore at one point. And how do I feel about the series now? Well, I'm well aware. I'm not going to say what. I'm well aware of how split people are over the fact that they're for a while it seemed like there was going to be a new film, whether it was a mainstay episode or, in the case of this solo here, a spin-off that told a side story often set before during the age of the original trilogy. And I took it with a grain of salt. I have seen Force Awakens. I've seen Rogue One. I haven't seen any others, but mostly, hear me out, the only reason why I haven't seen any of the others is simply because budgetary and time restraints. I have other, more important things to worry about. I mean, it might not seem that way with these videos I keep making, but yeah, I do, and I don't have time, and I don't want to go into them right now, but I still like Star Wars, but I don't have an opinion on most of what goes on with it, beyond just say, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, or if it's a bad decision, it's a bad decision because it's a bad decision. And I don't have an opinion on anything I haven't seen, and I'm going to basically judge things on their own merit as I see it. I don't want to follow someone saying that these are the best things to happen since the original. I'm not going to follow people who say that it's been a dead series either since the prequels or dead since the whole they were acquired by Disney deal. Do I blame an oversaturation for several problems? Yes, but that's simply because it's an oversaturation. You saw this, say, back in the mid to mid 80s with video games. Video games there were tons of consoles, there were tons of games, but these games kept getting made very quick and cheaply, and it caused the market to crash, and it almost killed off the industry. And you see that with Star Wars. I mean, it is not a good idea to make a movie every year, because even if you don't use the same actors, same directors, or whatever, it's still going to be wearing on people. I mean, there's a reason why even the prequels were spaced out from each other by a few years. 1999, 2002, then 2004. It allowed people, especially since it was using the same actors, it was allowing people time to breathe in between each production and gave people more variety to change opinions and cool down from the hype, even though it never really hit the same mark as it did back in the heyday. So that's really all I've got to say, aside from this unboxing and some side information that I thought I'd put to make this video seem, more than what it is. A nice figure. This is a great series, and I've said all I need to say. I mean, I don't I don't want to anger anyone. I make these videos to have fun, but I do occasionally want to also sort of give both voice and opinion, and maybe inform if, you've never heard of the Black Series, or you don't know anything about stuff I've talked to you about before, like how, say, when I mentioned in Ready Player One that there's, already innovation and research into trying to make the Oasis something that is a lot closer to just being something that exists within a movie. But yeah. All I can say is just have a nice day. Enjoy what you enjoy, and think for yourselves. Think for yourselves. Good day.